Welcome back to the next move with Venkat. Today I'm joined by someone who has been in performance marketing game since before Google was not the default search. My guest is Joy Arquilla, Vice President of Business Development for the US Digital Hub, an international performance marketing company with offices around the US and Latin America, running campaigns in insurance, home services, legal, and more. He started his career in Hollywood working with music legend Babyface, moved into performance marketing back in 2000 with jackpack.com, and has spent last 25 years living through every major shift in digital marketing, from Atla Vista to today's AI environment. In this episode, we will get into how he manages global performance campaigns, why AI is actually delivering the most value in compliance rather than the flashy creatives, and how transparency and data protection have completely changed how serious advertisers operate. Joey also breaks down three big lessons from 2.5 decades in the industry. Why your reputation is most valuable asset, why performance marketing is really a strategy game, not a sales game, and why you need a healthy skepticism when you are dealing with partners, clients, and traffic sources. And towards the end, he shares a very practical advice for founders and operators on choosing the right channels, finding real mentors, and staying a student forever, even when you are the veteran in the room. Let's get into my conversation with Joy Arquilla. Joy, thanks for joining the show. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Joy, could you please start telling about yourself for our audience? Where are you calling from today and what is your business is all about and your expertise?
Absolutely. I'm actually calling you from the Los Angeles area. I'm in lovely North Hollywood near Burbank, not too far from Burbank Airport. So I am the Vice President of Business Development for the U.S. marketplace for an international company called Digital Hub, which has an office in Miami, Florida, headquarters in Buenos Aires, office in Mexico, and I work out of Los Angeles, and we have some people up in more Northern California working for us. The company offers all over the world campaigns, digital marketing campaigns throughout the globe. And I'm in charge of the U.S. marketplace campaigns, the campaigns to acquire customers in the U.S. marketplace, which we do through lead generation campaigns, both on the cost per lead side and also the pay-per-call side as well. Kind of just real quick, I'll give a little background. I actually started in this performance marketing industry in the year 2000 with a company called jackpot.com, which later became Vendari Group. And it was, quite an exciting time in 2000, the turn of the century, the beginning of the new millennium and everything, to really start off in digital marketing. I had originally worked in the entertainment business back in Hollywood. I used to work for Kenneth Edmonds, or Babyface, the entertainer, singer, back in the day in the 90s. And then I got into internet in 2000 and just, have been working in this performance marketing space for the last 25 years. So kind of one of the old dinosaurs of the space, I guess you can say.
Got it.
So, and I appreciate you having me on. We're looking forward to all the new trends we're seeing in the digital marketing space.
Wonderful. It is really a pleasure to have you on the show. Like 25 years in the industry is not a small thing. You could have seen a kind of lot of trends coming and going.
Yeah, what's funny, Venkat, is like I tell people, and they kind of laugh, is that we originally, when I first started working, we didn't even look up stuff on Google. We were using Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves and Excite. I mean, Google was around, but we weren't even using it. So that's how far back I go. Pre-Facebook, no TikTok, none of that stuff. No Snapchat.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so all these kind of technology, all this digital marketing, I think they just evolved in the last 25 years. So you have been there from the step one until here in the industry, right? It is a kind of amazing. Yeah,
absolutely.
So to talk about the business and the operations right now in your current company, so what does the typical day look like, and how do you coordinate between the global partners day to day?
Yeah, what does a typical day look like? Well, very, very crazy busy because we've got a lot to do. So the Digital Hub has an internal Google and Meta marketing team, which I work closely with, as well as some trusted partners, many of which I've known over 10 years, to develop and acquire customers on a number of different campaigns. And the verticals we work in are insurance, home services. We even have legal campaigns, motor vehicle accident. So really a wide range of things. We have some more promo kind of giveaway offers for a number of different clients. So we're working in multiple verticals, managing multiple channels of distribution, whether it be cost per lead, some of which coming from our owned and operated sites, which I work with the team on developing, as well as trying to, optimize our internal campaigns through Google. And so best way I could say a day is a lot of communication with a lot of people at rapid fire. I
Mm.
know that explains it the best way, but
I
that's the
can
way I can
imagine
say that.
how busy it can be.
Yeah.
Lot of responsibilities, lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
work.
absolutely. And working with partners worldwide and just, yeah,
Hmm.
across the United States as well.
Got it. Got it. So, so you've been, yeah, as we discussed, you've been in the industry for more than 2 decades now. What are the different kinds of trends you've been observing in the last 2 decades?
Yeah, and not to be repetitive, I'm sure everybody's saying this, but AI is the biggest
Mm.
major trend right now. You'll
Oh,
see
yes.
on websites, you'll see a particular AI bot or something answering questions for someone and generating a lead. You have pay per call offers where they have AI attendants. A lot of AI is used to monitor, let's say, call recordings from the pay per call campaigns. So really, that's one of the biggest. And I'm sure other people have mentioned that as well. But the biggest thing really is the use of AI, and it really is the future. There are people figuring out how to optimize it, how to use it for advertising, how to use the results for advertising. That's really where a lot of the future is going to be. A lot of the trends also we're seeing is a greater transparency in working with clients. People really want to know where the traffic's coming from, exactly how it's generated. Back in the day, I mean, I remember working back in like 2009, there wasn't a lot of transparency. Often people would buy a lot of traffic. You didn't know where it was coming from. You didn't really know what. And nowadays that's just not going to work. And nowadays, I think clients have gotten a lot smarter with the technology. There's great technologies with companies like Anora, IP Quality Score, and 24 Metrics. And a lot of these different companies just monitor everything. We're also in a cookieless environment. Browsers right now, they don't, the whole capturing the cookie thing that we used to do in the past. Now it's more of a cookieless environment. Different ways of tracking and monitoring. And also, one of the things obviously we've seen is a lot more responsibility and accountability about how personal data is used. A lot of more regulations on the compliance of using personal data, making sure that you're scrubbing against things like Blacklist Alliance or making sure that people are opted out. So that was somewhat strict in the past, but now it's become very, very strict, in
Mm.
this and what we do today. So, I mean, I think that we're seeing a lot more automations, but at the same time, you're seeing a lot more transparency in what's happening, and that's really what clients today are looking for. It's everyone's obviously everyone. I always say to people, very simple, like nobody really wants to buy clicks, leads, or calls. They really want customers.
Mm.
The lead generation, pay per call, all of this is really just to acquire more paying customers. So you have to
Right.
always keep that in mind, when doing any type of campaign. It's all about the results on the back end. It's all about making sure clients are happy on the back end. And of course, marketing partners on the front end are getting what they want as well, hitting the metrics that they need to hit the ROI that they need to keep running.
Got it.
Does that answer
Got
your
it.
question?
Yeah. I got my answer, but yeah, we will dive deep into this AI and all in a moment. But before that, how do you balance the work between your in-house team and the also with the external partners? So is it really challenging, or is it a kind of balance you make it very easy based on your experience and the expertise?
Well, in working with clients, and once again, was coming back to transparency. So obviously,
Mm.
certain clients will take marketing partners and certain clients won't, and they want only internal traffic. So it's kind of an automatic balance in that sense. Everything we're going to take the traffic or we're not. And also some of the considerations that you do have to consider, and everyone, I think with an agency or in the business knows this, is that you have to have, when you're spending your own ad dollars, you have to have campaigns that are going to back out. They're going to be profitable in terms, I mean, because basically it's your dime. So basically, so that is where the balance is. Obviously, the campaigns that are selected for the internal team, are obviously campaigns that are going to work and that are going to be able to, or at least you don't know a campaign is going to work, obviously, until you test it, but they're heavily vetted for the potential of having a good ROI and obviously a decent rate or a decent conversion rate or a decent things. Obviously, with anything you're giving to these trusted partners, you want all the same things, but it becomes a little more important, obviously, when it's entirely your ad spend. I don't know if that makes sense with the way we balance it. I would say it is more, it's very much a natural balance. I mean, we're definitely not going to mix in, partner with internal and not tell any clients we're not doing that, or it's very clearly this is internal and this is partner. And that's what we demand of all of our partners as well. Complete transparency into where the traffic came from.
Got it. I feel like in 2025, it is all about the trust and transparency, even beyond all the results or whatever the ROI. Apart from that,
I would agree with that.
Trust and transparency. Yeah, they're playing really. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. It really is.
Got it. Yeah. And again, coming back to AI. So AI has completely changed how we plan and execute marketing, especially in 2025. From your perspective, managing global performance teams around the world, so where are you seeing AI deliver the real business value versus where it still is a hype?
I mean, where are you seeing, you're saying where are we seeing the most value with AI within the process?
Yeah.
Some of the highest value, a lot of it is in the compliance side, the ability to process data quickly. I think that's absolutely a huge value. But you're going to see marketing platforms like Taboola Realize and different ones have an AI function where they'll create all your ads for you. Most of the media buyers I talk to is like, well, that's nice, but it's better to create your own sometimes and make it more realistic looking. But I would say the most value you really do get right now is in the compliance side, to be able to process data, be able to check very quickly. And for instance, if you take call recordings, you're able to scan those and be able to pick up on different clues that this call is not legitimate, be able to process data from your metrics to see that, well, this traffic, there might be an issue with this traffic. Human beings can look at the stuff. A human being can look at the stuff, listen to the calls, do all this stuff. But sometimes you need that automation to get it done quickly because you have such a high volume of data coming in. You need something that's faster than what a human can look at all of it to get those red flags, to get those notifications, to be able to deal with the issue quickly. That's my opinion. Probably people are using AI in different ways, may disagree, and that's fine. You may have another use for it that's a lot more important, but I see that as a very critical use of it.
Got it. So where do you still see it is really a kind of hype, not really producing any kind of results in the business?
I mean, there's a lot of AI content, that AI videos used for marketing that are obviously AI videos, and often marketers don't see the results with AI generated content because they need to, you can get help with AI, but in times you need to actually, often people will be engaged with real looking content. So while AI is a great tool and maybe sometimes it does help you develop creative, but often you're going to need to edit things. You're going to need to modify things. You're going to have to put that human touch on things. So I think becoming too dependent on AI content will be a fault. Does that make sense? I think you've probably seen the same thing. If you go online and you look at ads, you could see some of them. You're like, oh, that looks bad.
Yeah,
that looks very unreal, and you wouldn't click on, right?
Got it. True. I spoke with one person last week on our podcast itself. He was in the proper production, the commercial production itself. So he also said the same thing, like don't I don't really, he said something like that. I don't really connect with the AI related content. Not
Mhm.
me, even most of the people in the industry right now, they feel like the emotional connect between the content and the person who is watching it, the emotional connect, until and unless if there is no emotional connect, it is not going to go anywhere. So how many tools may come in, may go, but yeah, that emotional connect should be always there so that the content lasts longer. That was the whole point. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I can see some people maybe generate a button image, or maybe they generate a small logo with AI, a few things that aren't that big to like a landing page or whatever. I get that. Save some time with that. But if your
Mm,
people don't look like people, that's the problem.
exactly. I agree with you. Got it. So throughout your career, throughout your experience, what are some, now let's say like, what are two or three lessons, the biggest lessons you have learned?
Oh, that's summing it up. I think, wow, that's some of the
Anything
biggest
in
lessons
terms
I've
of
learned.
running a business, or in terms of the handling a client, or whether it is something related to the marketing, anything.
In 2006, I worked for a man named Paul Grossman, who really taught me, because I had transitioned over from the performance marketing side more to the affiliate side of performance marketing. Before, there's more of a kind of a operational side. I worked on an email team, and I went kind of into first started learning more about like affiliate networks and that kind of thing. But one of the interesting things that Paul said to me, I think I'll never forget, he said, it takes years to develop a reputation and it takes seconds to destroy it.
Mm,
That stuck with me.
yeah.
This is almost 20 years late. That stuck with me. Your
Okay.
reputation, your contacts, are, I mean, it's priceless,
Mm,
but it's absolutely priceless. But let me another thing that I've and this so that's point number one, your reputation. But let me give you point number two, which is more subjective to me, what I feel, and I think, and I welcome disagreement. But digital marketing is more about strategy than it is about sales.
mm,
Now, you have to be able to close a deal. Okay, you have to be able to work with clients, close a deal. I get that. Often I see a lot of agencies and a lot of companies where they're failing is they bring in these great salespeople, these heavy hitters. The skill they're missing, they're great at doing a presentation, they're great at closing a sale, they're great at doing all that great stuff. But what they're really missing is identifying an opportunity,
yeah.
because they'll bring in lots of deals, but the deals don't align with either the type of traffic that the company has. They don't have enough budget to scale the deals. So strategy is understanding if a deal is going to work or not based on your own resources, your own situation, your own position in the marketplace, and who you're dealing with. This is where
Mm,
strategy comes into place. You can bring in deals all day long, but if they don't work out, you're spinning your wheels.
mm,
My number two things subjectively is it's a strategy game. It's understanding what really is an opportunity and what isn't. And that sounds so basic. It really does, doesn't it? It just sounds
yeah.
like, yeah, of course. But so many people, I guess, what's the saying, miss the forest for the trees? They say, oh, we're going to sign this big deal with this big company, but they don't understand that you can't deliver for what this deal is required, or
Mm,
you can't, you have to look into the details of a deal. You have to look deep into who you're dealing with, what's going to happen, what you can provide for them. Will they be happy with what you provide? If you're using partners, will the partners be happy with what they provide? It's if you're working with partners, it's a three-way partnership. It's the partner making money. It's you doing the deal in the middle. It's the client getting the customers acquired. And you have to have that three-way balance. That's almost
mm,
number three, the three-way balance. Those are the two things. And I'll give you kind of I'll give you an interesting one. I always say you have to be, you have to have some healthy cynicism, a little healthy
mm,
skepticism when dealing with different entities. I always say, and this is something I say with a tongue in cheek. I say this is a performance marketing is a very simple business. You always know who to trust. Nobody. But that's a joke.
yeah.
I don't really mean. I mean that as I don't mean that as a totally trust nobody. But what I mean is you have to, number three, you have to go into the business with a healthy skepticism and a healthy
Mm,
ability to analyze both on the traffic seller side and the traffic buyer side.
Yeah.
You have to see into, what does the buyer really want? What does the seller they really want as well? So I guess that's really kind of the three things: what your reputation, strategy, and having a healthy skepticism. I guess it helped. I used to be in the entertainment business before, which is very
Mm,
precarious. So I'm kind of used to that kind of being, not everything you hear is real. So you have to
mm,
be able to discern that. So I think those are three
got it.
three strong points.
Got it. Wonderful. Really wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we again talk about the performance marketing, so in your opinion, based on the current trends, what really going on in the market, so what is the biggest, toughest challenge the industry is facing now, especially the performance marketing?
It's what's happening is that the channels of delivering traffic are expanding. Ever since
Mm,
when I started, we didn't even have Facebook. Now we have the Facebook, we have the TikTok, there's the Snapchat, there's the Instagram, there's chat bots, it's just the ways to deliver traffic is, we didn't even have the SMS. We were doing email back in the 2001. Now you can text messages now, and you've got all these different delivery channels, but the greatest challenge isn't delivering the traffic. It's delivering and acquiring real legitimate quality customers. Being able to because what you have to understand is every single channel has a different user experience. And we were recently testing a campaign on Google Ads, which was interesting, and we had tested a page that did very well on Meta ads on Facebook. And what's interesting is what you'll notice sometimes, that just the change between somebody looking something up on Google and somebody noticing an ad on Facebook, where you're very aggressive and you're trying to get their attention, whereas Google, maybe you're not as aggressive because they're already kind of looking for that. So if you come at them aggressive on Google, they'll get turned off, where they may not
mm,
on Facebook. Every channel has a different user experience. So you got to understand that.
yeah.
It may sound like email and SMS are close. They're really not. I mean,
Mm,
there's a different in the channel, what the user experience is, how they react to that, what the ads are, and how the ads match the channel and the user experience. So biggest channel. I mean, it's always been kind of the big challenge, I think, from the beginning, but I think it's becoming, I want to use it, maybe a little cluttered with so many channels of delivery and so many different ways to do it. You have to now understand more. Back in the day,
mm,
I think we were just using banners and emails. It's like
mm,
people used to, before 2010, when they changed the Google algorithms, what they used to call it May 1st, May Day, when everything changed, people would put backlinks, and they would, mom and pop people would be like, doing SEO on a website, making 50,000 a month.
mm.
After 2000, that all dropped. That whole thing dropped, and then it became going into different, maybe paid media channels.
Yeah, got it. That was really a kind of helpful insights. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, if we could talk about the future goals for yourself, what you are really resonating in the industry for the next 1-2 years, and what really it is going to look like for the digital hub.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some very strong goals and building out. So we have both the performance side of the business. We have an agency side of the business where we get hired by companies to do Google advertising for them. And so one of our major goals is to heavily expand that into different verticals and different clients that need Google ad services done for them, as well as expanding the performance marketing side of the business. And our big goal now, the big push is for the development of a number of different verticals with our owned and operated properties, and just expanding those, giving a lot of different chances for quality delivery to our clients. So, I mean, we're aiming to really have quite a large footprint in the market, of both on the agency side as well as the performance marketing side, in 2026. If that's
Got it.
if that answers your
Got it.
question, or if that's a little too specific. But
Got it. Amazing, amazing. So before we wrap up, if you could share one advice for the people who is watching this episode, especially for the founders and the operators in the marketing, what it could be, the one advice.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, I think the people that tend to do well, really they figure out what works for them, and they focus on it deeply and get an understanding of a particular channel, a particular marketplace. And really a lot of it has to do with, I guess what I could say to people, and it's just a basic thing, is really do your homework on your business model, your channel. And here's really, I always say, and I'm a firm believer in this, I say, cheat on the smart kid in school. So find someone that's doing it really well and figure out what they've done. Find mentors. I am always reaching up. Even 25 years in the business, I'm a forever student. I never want to think of myself as some type of master. I'm a forever student. And I turn to several people who I consider my mentors. Some of them are a lot younger than me. Some of them might be, I've sat down. It wasn't too long ago. I was sat down. I was in an office in Los Angeles, and I was being taught, TikTok marketing from a 20-year-old. And I was sitting there, and I was with another guy who was in his 50s, and we were both sitting there, and we were taking notes like he was a college professor, and we had a test at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So I was there's my 20-year-old mentor. That's fine. He knew about certain things I didn't know. So I took in the knowledge. Find mentors, do a deep dive into your business. You may think you're doing a deep dive. You may not be diving deep enough. I mean, you might have to really understand that. Find people who are doing it well. It's very basic, but I think some people miss it.
Got it. Yeah, it was really amazing. Always open your arms for the opportunities as well as the suggestions. Doesn't matter where it is coming from. As long as it is valuable, you should always be there to take it.
Yeah. My father always said, what you put up here, nobody can take away from you, like your knowledge, so.
Amazing. Yeah, that was amazing. It was really a pleasure talking with you, Joy. You have shared wonderful insights about your experience, about the market. You have shared so many wonderful, useful suggestions. I hope our audience also will really get a lot of data from this episode. So before we close the episode, if anyone wants to find you out, where they can check out for you.
Yeah, I have my LinkedIn profile link that'll be at the bottom. To go ahead and contact me at LinkedIn. You could also look at Joe Arquilla, Arquilla on LinkedIn, and send me a message. I'm open to messages.
Got it. Wonderful. Thank you again, Joey. Thanks for joining, and thank you, audience, for tuning in. We'll see you in another episode.